Look, I know we probably ain't in no position to do this, but if there was a person that I would love for us to trade for, it damn sure would be Brian Thomas Jr. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti talking sports. You know what it is. Shout out Juan Gotti talking sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty love again now. She's confident.
Daniels looking downfield. He wants a shot for Brian Thomas into the end zone.
I know, y'all. One, we're 3-4. One, we barely got any draft picks. One, the Washington Commanders already traded for a couple of players and they have not necessarily panned out. I get all that. But none of these players we traded for in the past is a 23-year-old borderline superstar potential. See, Brian Thomas Jr. Is a guy that burst onto the scene last year, a part of the LSU squad, right? Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors. They were tight. They're like bestest friends, bro, coming out of LSU. And Brian, he came into the league and immediately became one of the best young wide receivers in the league. And a lot of people kind of didn't pay attention to him because he was in Jacksonville last year and they did not have a really good season, but he quietly put up one of the best years. And to a lot of people's surprise, especially me, he has not had the season that a lot of people thought he was going to have. And it's to the point where Jacksonville is now shopping Brian Thomas Jr. And for me, immediately when I saw this, I was like, no, Washington ain't going to do nothing. We can't. We're 3-4. They probably going to want a first-round pick for him. We really don't have any draft picks that we can really move. You know, but at the end of the day, you don't know exactly how deals can get done. If they genuinely don't want nothing to do with Brian Thomas Jr. and they want him out of there, I'm sure there is ways the other team can find a way to make it happen. For the Washington Commanders, I would love this move because it kills a lot of your problems, if you ask me, at least for the future. Now, right now, it probably doesn't serve anything in terms of future help, but he immediately comes in and gives you a guy that can have another addition to this wide receiver room, a guy that's the best friend with the quarterback of our future here, a guy that gives you that number one receiver potential for the next 10 years. Again, this guy is 23, 1 year older than me, and I get he's having a down year. I get it, but you can't tell me the talent is no longer there. You cannot tell me he just had 1 year and now all of a sudden he's just trash. I have a hard time believing that. And you get him into a new situation, a place in which he has guys that he's familiar with. Like, I think it would be cool. Now, I don't know, again, if Washington's in a position to where they are able to trade for him. But it doesn't hurt to pick up the phone to say, hey, Jacksonville, what are y'all willing to give up? What do y'all want for BTJ? And again, another reason why I feel like it makes a lot of sense for Washington to make this move, and again, it's not just me being a homer. Think about it like this. You have Terry McLaurin, you have Deebo Samuel. After Terry McLaurin got his contract extension, we started to map out ways of, man, maybe Terry can get paid another again in 2 years. Yeah, when he's 32, 33, maybe if he's still performing at the same rate that he got, that he was performing prior to he got his contract extension, maybe he can get another 2-3 years out of Washington again. That's probably why his contract was set up the way that it was. But if you're being all honest with each other, if you land a Brian Thomas Jr., that makes exiting from Terry McLaurin that much easier. I know a lot of people may say, well, Juan, I'm not really too locked in with Terry. Well, he got a contract extension, so he's here for the next 3 years. And we're not going to act like Terry all of a sudden is just trash because he hasn't performed well this year and he's been hurt. But essentially what I'm saying is I'm thinking future-wise. You don't have to re-sign Terry McLaurin no more unless you want to, and unless he's killing, and unless he's legitimately going to be the number 2 receiver in 2 to 3 years from now. I may take some slack for this. I love Terry. He's my favorite player of all time. I get it. That's my guy. I love Terry. If you had to ask me, based off of the trajectory of this season and where I think we'll end up being in terms of if we're going off based off of how present day is, I would rather have Deebo Samuel than Terry McLaurin in terms of future-wise. In terms of, let's say we sign Deebo to a 2-year contract after this year, meaning him and Terry McLaurin's contracts are going to probably expire around the same time. If not, Terry has 1 more year. If we get to that point and both guys' contracts are expiring, but you have BTJ here, who's going to be in 3 years, just entering his prime at 25, 26 years old, you don't have to have both of those guys back. And who would you have at that point? Now, again, unless Terry McLaurin is healthy still, unless Terry McLaurin is still putting up, at that point, I'll say 700, 800 yards, probably go with Terry. But I'm just thinking maybe Deebo would probably be the better guy to keep around in 3 to 4 years, if we're being honest. But again, now that I think about it, like, Deebo's game may not transition well with age. Terry McLaurin's game transitions well with age, because it's not solely just athleticism based off of Terry McLaurin's game. It's want to, it's hard work, it's how he prepares and takes care of his body, right? So maybe Terry's the better guy to go with. But essentially what I'm saying is, regardless, if you find a way to get BTJ, you no longer have to worry about who's my wide receiver 1 for the future. Obviously, right now, with no Brian Thomas Jr., if you're looking down the road, because again, we don't think of it now because it's 3 years from now. But think about it like this: Terry McLaurin just signed his first contract extension with Washington, not the rookie did, but the contract extension he got the first time. He just signed that 2-3 years ago. See how fast that moved? You know what I mean? So you can sit present day and say, well, we have time. Terry's our number 1 receiver right now. But just think about it. 3 years gonna move like that. And in 3 years, Terry McLaurin's gonna be 33. Brian Thomas Jr. is gonna be 26. Deebo Samuel's gonna be 32. I think this is a move that you do for the future. Because who knows? Maybe in 3 years, Jalen Lane has turned into what we hoped. Maybe Luke McCaffrey has stepped up and turned himself to be a legit weapon on this offense, and number three choice. So, if there's a way, if I'm Adam Peters, just reach out, just see. I don't know what we have to offload them besides picks. I know people are probably quick to throw Noah Igbenogany in there, Brandon Coleman in there. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know who we will be willing to trade for. I know they're not going to be, and we got to be real, I know these guys aren't going to be willing to trade for older guys that aren't really showing any promise. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, get Lattimore out of here. Get Lattimore out of here. I don't know if there's anybody interested in Marshawn Lattimore. And quite frankly, I don't know what Jacksonville's true weaknesses is right now. Besides the fact that I think with Jacksonville's team, they're just lacking execution. I think they have good weapons. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is just in his head and he needs a new change of scenery. But I think they have some nice weapons. Whether it's BTJ, it's De'Ami Brown, it's Travis Hunter, right? Like, I think these guys have some quality options at receiver. And I think Brian Thomas Jr. simply probably just needs a change of scenery. And also, keep in mind, Leon Cohen wasn't the one that drafted him. Leon Cohen wasn't the offense he prevailed in. What if he just isn't getting the offense? But I mean, again, I think he's in his head. I think he's scared to go across the middle. You know what I'm saying? To get his head taken off, and that makes him lose concentration. I was watching their game in London last week versus Minnesota. He had an easy pass. He dropped. Not an easy. I wouldn't say easy, but to his standard, he knows he should have caught it, and he dropped it. And you have to only help but to think he's in his own head. And if they don't have anybody in Jacksonville that can restore that confidence in him and be that guy to tell you, hey, you that dude, BTJ, I know who you are. I know who you are. You can be that dude. I think it's Jaden Daniels. Like, you can't sit here and tell me. Imagine it's you. Imagine you, let's say, use your job for an example. Say your best friends working a job, but y'all working in 2 different, let's say, places or states or departments. Imagine how, and you're not feeling the best at your department no more. It's overwhelming. It's not going away. Imagine if they say, hey, yeah, we're going to send you over to so-and-so store, so-and-so place, or so-and-so office. And you're like, hold on, my man's work there. You know what I'm saying? Or for the females, my girlfriend worked there. My friend, she worked here. That's not going to instantly boost your morale and make you feel good again, right? Like, you're back with someone you know. So, I think this is perfect. I don't want to get no one hopes up. I don't want to get anyone thinking this is a possibility, like we're going to genuinely trade for Brian Thomas Jr. I don't necessarily think so. But if it was up to me, oh, you're damn right. This isn't trading for Marshawn Lattimore, a veteran guy who was injured that we traded for at the time. This isn't Laramie Tunsil, even though I love the trade and he's been stellar. He's been damn good. Like, we aren't trading for Deebo Samuel, who is 29, 30 years old. Like, this is a guy that's 23, and I'm so baffled that the fact Jacksonville wants to actually trade him. I get he's not playing well. I get he's in his own head. I get all of that. But think about it like this. I used Quentin Johnston for an example, a Los Angeles Chargers receiver. If you ask any Chargers fan, any Chargers beat reporter, or whatever may have you, he has not lived up to what they thought he was going to be from TCU in the first round a few years ago, right off the rip. But if you watch Quentin Johnston as of late, when he's healthy, he has showed flashes. He has showed signs of consistency. He has showed signs of confidence, and he feels like he can do it. He has. And the Chargers probably wouldn't have reaped that benefit had they moved on from after year 1 or year 2. Like, if Jacksonville genuinely moves on from Brian Thomas Jr., I think it's a big mistake. So, if I'm Adam Peters, I'm going to capitalize on this. I'm going to see if there's anything we can do to try to get him in. If we get Brian Thomas Jr., I don't care how this season ends. I'm confident of how the future is going to be. This is a future move. This is a guy that can come in and help you immediately, yeah. But this is a future move. So if I'm Adam Peters, I'm at least calling to see if there's anything that you want that I have, or anything that sounds intriguing for me to say, hey, you know what? Let's think about it. Let's actually pull this trigger. And I get a lot of people want Adam Peters to hold on to the draft picks, but again, this is a 23-year-old borderline superstar receiver if he can get back to being himself. With that being said, let me know what you guys want in the comment section down below. As always, me and Boy Wine Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel on the road to 12,000 subscribers. So we gotta appreciate if we reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.
Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.